It's Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agorapulse. Discussing this week's hottest topics and latest developments in social media marketing. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
Hi, everyone. Oh, my gosh. And I decided I didn't actually put myself full screen. So guess what? You have a sneak peek of our guest. Oh, my gosh. So I'm so excited to geek out with everyone today. We have an amazing panel because guess what? Community Manager Appreciation Day is on Monday. So we decided to bring in our very own community manager, Deb Mitchell, and of course, the amazing and brilliant Julia from Now Marketing Group to just geek out with us and share with us their top tips for growing community. Now, we did have another guest lined up, Abhilash from InVideo, but unfortunately, he was unable to make it last minute, which is totally okay. It's more important to take care of yourself and your family first. So we are going to miss him, but we've got Deb and Julia in the house. So thank you guys so much for being here. Really quick, though, for everyone that's joining us, I just want you guys to let you know that this is a fun two-way conversation. You're just not a fly on the wall watching us talk. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions, your concerns, anything that you have. And for those of you that are watching us, let us know who you are, where you're watching us from, and something exciting that's happened to you so far in 2021, or something you're looking forward to next week or in a couple of weeks, which for the first part, I can't believe it's already January 22nd. I can't believe we're almost a month into 2021, which is so crazy to me. But yes, so please share with us who you are. We've got obviously Scott Ayers in the house. We've got Andreas in the house as well. And I want to give a special shout out to our show sponsor. So she is absolutely brilliant and amazing. If you weren't a part of our Twitter chat, #agency chat yesterday at 2:00 Eastern. You missed out, but you can still follow the hashtag on Twitter. See all the amazing conversation. Nathalie Gregg is our amazing show sponsor. And I want to just get out a little bit about her. Change agent, adjunct professor, public speaker, television personality, all describe Nathalie Gregg. She is a women's leadership and empowerment strategist whose focus is high performance women who dare to lead loudly. Nathalie challenges the way women think and how they practice leadership through her weekly Lead Loudy Twitter chat. Lead Loudy is the battle cry for women to live bold, confident, and fearlessly. Like, who doesn't love that? Her Twitter chat is Thursdays at 7:00 Eastern, so make sure to be a part of that. Now, with that said, I just have to give some special shout outs to our guests. So I'm going to pull Julia full screen and just geek out about her just a little bit. She's absolutely amazing. When I first met Julia, her smile radiates and brightens up every single room she walks into, and she is the most amazing positive personality. She is the social anti-highlight reel enthusiast. She's all about showing up authentically online in order to create real connections with others. She has a diverse background working for the Buffalo News, the Buffalo Niagara Partnership, and the Telesco Creative Group before joining Now Marketing Group as their brand manager. And as the 2018 recipient of the Emerging Alumni Award granted by the University at Buffalo School of Management Alumni Association, Julia is known for delivering powerful presentations that leave people feeling excited and empowered. Oh my gosh, Julia, like seriously, welcome to the show. Like, I'm so excited you're here joining us. And we were geeking out like so much about the Buffalo Bills before we actually came on air because Julia's in Buffalo. I'm from Rochester, New York. Deb is also a Buffalo Bills fan, at least right now, because her son goes to the same school where the quarterback came from. So Josh Allen. So we're all kind of like pumped and excited. But Julia, welcome. We're beyond thrilled to have you here. And so excited.
So happy to be here.
Yay. Awesome. And last but not least, all right, Deb, we get to pull you full screen. Are you ready for this? So first of all, you got to love Deb's background because it is absolutely amazing. Deb Mitchell is our very own Agorapulse community manager. She's owned a boutique marketing firm in Napa Valley for over 20 years. She was the networking coordinator for social media marketing world for 3.5 years. And listen to this. Her and her team ran 19 different Facebook groups at the same time, guys. Like, that is amazing. Deb founded one of the first online international scrapbooking communities with over 10,000 members before the social media days, which, Deb, I do need some scrapbooking advice from my daughter. But anyway, her current passion project is working with membership owners to create wow in their communities. So Deb, I love that you're here joining us. You guys usually see Deb in the comments, helping out, driving the conversation as well. But now she is a part of the show. So welcome, everyone. We're just so excited you're here. We've got Julie Riley in the house, Juan Santiago. Juan, how are you doing? Juan is an Eagles fan. And Julie, so we got Julie in the house. I understand she's a Chiefs fan. Julie, it's going to be a tough Sunday. Like, we're like best friends, but it's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. But anyway, we've got Jessica Phillips in the house as well. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. And before we get to you guys, I sent them a slew of questions. I would love to hear a little bit more about how you got to where you are today. So I'm going to kick it off to Julia first. If you can share a little bit about your background and just how you got to your current position.
Totally. So I grew up on Long Island, actually, and I moved to Buffalo more than 13 years ago. I went to the University of Buffalo, and the University of Buffalo has this 5-year program. So I was able to get my bachelor's and my master's in 5 years, and I fell in love with the city of Buffalo in the process. And so I graduated in 2012 with my master's and started my career out at the Buffalo News. Then moved on to working at the Regional Chamber of Commerce and also worked at a local advertising agency before joining Now Marketing Group, working with Jessica Phillips, Jen Cole, Tony Christensen, George DeManis. I call our team the Social Media Avengers Squad because it is just an incredible team. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And it honestly is, like, I met Jessica at Social Media Marketing World last year, which also I feel like we went to like the world's last conference by being there. And Jessica and I hit it off. We just had such a great conversation. And, you know, a few months later, it just ended up that she had this opening. I had just left my job at the agency. And so it was like the universe, just everything worked out for me to end up joining the team at Now. And so not only is that just a testament to like timing, but it really is a testament to building relationships. And I think that that's really kind of what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just so excited to dive into it.
Well, Julia, we're so excited to have you. Like, seriously, I love just everything you do. Like, I think you really help bring people together, make people feel comfortable to be their true, genuine selves, you know, and like allow them to break down their walls or any insecurities just kind of flow away. And you're just all about love and relationship building and everything else. So I love that, Julia. And I have to give a quick shout out to Justin Hornback. Said, oh my gosh, I know these people somewhat. Justin, we love you. We think you're so wonderful. Justin is one of our big fans. He does amazing things. And Justin, we really love it when you join us and that you're here. And I hope your 2021 is off to an amazing start. And Jessica Phillips, your vibe attracts your tribe. This is so true. And I mean, you just can't say that enough. And Julia's vibe just is like, whoosh. So her tribe is absolutely amazing, just like yours, Jessica. We love you so much, Jessica. With that said, the same question to you, Deb. So give us just a little bit more background about, you know, your boutique agency and everything you did with Social Media Examiner and just any other fun nuggets that you'd love to share with us.
Well, I started my career a little bit earlier, and I started back in the day of, I worked in Hollywood, and I stood at a photocopier and I copied articles from celebrities. And I decided, okay, I did not want to do that in my life. Then I went on and I worked in the graphics department at a TV station. And after going to college for 4 years and realizing that I really needed a skill instead of just being a communications major, I went to art school. Totally loved that. Worked at a whole bunch of different firms firms in San Francisco. Ended up getting an amazing job at, most of you probably don't know this about me, amazing job at the #1 wine packaging design firm in the country. And actually, they were award-winning internationally. So I worked there for a few years and just started getting more and more freelance clients, and decided that I could go out on my own. So I launched my design firm / marketing firm. Ended up having a child, and realizing that we wanted to have the lifestyle of being around all the time for him. So kept owning my own business, and loved that. But my childhood dream was to always work for an international company and travel the world. And so when my son went off to college, I realized that I could make a shift. And I had made amazing contacts with people from Agorapulse, but mostly in social media marketing world, where I served as their networking coordinator for 3.5 years, which I absolutely love. And many of the people that I see on here, I've met you guys through there. And just love connecting with people and chatting with people, love the community. I've been involved in community management since the bulletin board days and the forum days. You mentioned my Scrap Talk community. I had one, I think you're going to ask about this later, so we might skip this later, but one of the craziest things that I did was I had an international website called scraptalk.com, and it was at the height of the scrapbooking community and the wave of scrapbooking being popular. And I was the first one to actually go to the trade show that was held once a year in Anaheim, and take a press badge and take photographs of all the new products at all these scrapbooking companies. No one was doing that except for the magazines, but the magazine publication cycle was so long that the store owners and all the consumers were not seeing the products right away. So what I did was I went in and I took the photos all day. I stayed up all night and I loaded them up onto my website, and I had people from all over the world viewing and crashing my website to see all the brand new products. So, and I did this for several years, and then blogs came out, and then social media came out, and I wasn't needed for that anymore. But those were some crazy days that I had. So I love building community.
I'm just going to say, wow, Deb, like your background is awesome. And I love how all three of us have worked in some aspect of news, right? Buffalo news for you, Julia, you as well, Deb. So we all kind of understand the fast pace of news, and also social media is even like faster sometimes, which is even more crazy. So I love that, Deb. Amazing background. And quick shout out to some of the people commenting, lots of comments. Brian says, nothing I love more in life than connecting great people with great people to do great things. Very true. I love that so much. Jessica said, Julia truly is the definition of being authentic and pure joy. Yes, couldn't have said that any better as well. And also just a quick reminder to let you know that if you are joining us, you won't need to give StreamYard permission so we can see who you are, because I have amazing comments from someone on Facebook. I just don't know who you are, but best connector ever. And connecting me to Jessica Phillips was the most epic part of my 2020. Honestly, look at where it led, which is so awesome. But I don't know who this person is, so let us know.
That's
who
me.
you are.
That's me. I don't know why. How isn't that?
Wait a minute.
I'll get that fixed.
Oh my God, that's
I don't understand. I'll look into it.
I'm like, who is this person?
Don't you love when the community managers and it goes sideways?
But also, shouldn't something come up? Shouldn't StreamYard ask me for permission?
It does. It usually says something. So so we'll work on that. But now that I know that it's you, Julia, I'm like, this person is awesome. I don't know who they are. Jeremy Linneberg, hey, don't apologize for being late. We're so excited you made it to the party. Jeremy is doing so many amazing things with his marketing agency as well. So special shout out to you, Jeremy. Would love to hear your insight on all the topics as well. So with that said, I want to get to the first question, which is, what does community mean to you? And so I'm going to drive this to Deb first, and then Julia, I'm going to ask you. But Deb, what does community mean to you?
Okay, so I have like two answers to this. One is it's like your super fans, like Pat Flynn calls them. It's the opportunity for your company, your brand, your personal brand to gather up the people that believe in you and believe in your products, your super fans. And then you guys are going to laugh at this, but I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm putting my flag in the ground on community is like a group of flamingos. Okay, number one, they're pink, and if you know me, I love pink things. Number two, they are a group, and they're very social, and they stay together, and they work for a common ground, but yet they're all individuals, and they all have their own things going on. So that's how I'm starting to think of community, which is a little bit crazy, right?
No, but it's not though. You know what? If you go to the Atlanta Zoo, like the first thing you get to is like the flamingo area. But I love that though, because I mean, that's a great analogy and comparison. So I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Okay, and a side note to that is pretty soon I'll be wearing flamingo jewelry. I'll have a flamingo statue. I'm going to go all in on the flamingo thing.
Do it. I absolutely love it. You should. I've never heard anyone explain community in that way, but it makes sense and it works really well. So I love that. So Julia, what does community mean to you?
Honestly, I think community is your tribe. Like it's your people. It's the people that you can count on. It's the people that get you. It's the people that understand what you're about and the people that support you and encourage you and cheer you on.
I love that. I think that's an amazing, sorry, I was muting myself because there's something really loud going on outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, it better not go through the mic. But no, I think that's true. That's so true. It's almost like your tribe, right? Your community is your tribe in a way, that the people that really surround you and support you. And something that I found about is being more vulnerable. This is something that Brian has helped me with. Like, the more vulnerable and real you are, the more people will be like, oh my gosh, I'm going through that too, or I can totally relate. I'm like, really? And you're just like, wow, why I need to just spill all my beans, and really find my tribe. But it's true. I
really agree with that.
It's so powerful. Justin, you're going to love this, Deb, if you haven't read it already. Justin Hornish said, Phoebe had her lobsters, Deb has her flamingos. It's absolutely perfect. Yes, I love that so much. Brad Friedman, thank you for joining us, Brad. Happy Friday. And I would actually want to ask this question to everyone in the group, including our show sponsor, Nathalie. What does community mean to you? Let us know and share your answer, because we'll share it and talk about it in the comments. Jen Cole said, oh my God, some of my favorite community people. Happy Friday.
Hey, Jen.
We love you. Jen, I want to know what community management or just community means to you, Jen. I would love to hear your answer. Now, with that said, what is the most critical role of a community manager? And so I'm going to direct that to you first, Julia, totally. And then we'll go to you, Deb. But what is the most critical role of a community manager?
So I feel like the most critical role is really supporting the people in your community. And supporting them can mean so many different things, but I really think it means making your community feel seen, heard, appreciated, and understood. Because that's what it's all about. Like, it's the most critical role of the community manager is to show your people that you actually care about them. Because while you could say that the role is, and while looking at analytics and all of those kinds of things, those are important, but it's about the heart and the humanity of building those relationships. And I think that that is the most important thing that a community manager is doing.
I would definitely have to agree. I love that, Julie. And if you guys can hear it, a loud sound coming from my microphone, I think they're power washing or they're doing something at my building right now. So I truly apologize. But I want to share with you guys that Nathalie said community is your tribe. It is the people that you get you. Basically everything that you said, Julia. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Tony Christensen, who I know is watching, hasn't said hi in the comments, I don't think yet, but I see you, Tony. I know you're there. And I'm not sure, is this you, Julia, sharing community equals a place to celebrate and empathize each other's wins and losses?
Nope.
It's a helping hand and a place to help out. I love this. Whoever you are, unfortunately, it's not showing who you are to us. So just let us know.
I'm not making that mistake again.
And Tony, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the show. And Julie said, community is where you find your people that are coming together for a common place to rally around a product, brand, or discussion. Very true. Very good point, Julie. I like that. Now, with that said, Deb, what is the most critical role that a community manager plays?
I, of course, agree with Julia. It's about your people, right? But I also had a couple different thoughts. One is to have balance and patience. So for me, it's the balance of time. How much time are you spending in the community? The different types of activities that you have planned for the activity, for the community, different kind of content that you have in there. So I think that is an important role as a manager to, to balance that. And then patience, that's a critical thing because like as a community manager, you want to jump in right away and help everybody. But I think there's something to be said about waiting. And to be honest, I purposely wait and let it sit there for a bit and let the community stand up and help each other. And then I'll come into the conversation. If nobody answers the question, then I'll come back around. Or let's say, for example, since I run our agency group, some of them are very technical questions. Lots of times, most people won't answer that. That's sort of directed to me. And actually, it's interesting because the culture of the group is now that lots of them are tagging me when they have that type of question. But when they have like a workflow question or like a billing question or how do you do this type of question, I purposely don't answer those right away. And I let the community source its, come together and source that. So I think patience lets the community grow and the community bond together. So I think that's, an important role too.
I love that, Deb. And I think that's an important aspect that a lot of people don't think about. Like for me, I'm like, I just want to help and be trigger happy. And I'm just like, do. But you know what? Like Deb, I get that. And, taking a step back and letting others kind of come in and building, that bond with each other is really strong and powerful as well. So I love that, Deb. Both points are so powerful and so true. And Jeremy said, Deb Mitchell, I love that point. Being like a sponge is so important before just jumping in. It can teach you so much. Mm-hmm. Very, very true. And this is for everything in life, just taking a step back, no matter the situation or whatever it is, and trying to fully understand, before you react and come up with a response or something like that. So well said, Deb, and very true, Jeremy, as well. Now, with that said, my question is, I think a lot of people are like, where can you find community? Where should I start a community? Should it be a Facebook group? Should I create a community in Clubhouse? Mm-hmm. Even Twitter chats are communities. So where should, if someone is, okay, I want to create a community somewhere, where do they actually create it? And maybe what different types of communities are there? And so I will probably throw that to you first, Julia, and then Deb, you can comment after as well. All right, Julia.
I feel like when it comes to where is the best place to start a community, you really need to think about where are your people already hanging out? Because I think that when trying to create a sense of community, it's not necessarily about trying to bring people to where you want to be, but more about meeting them where they're at. So if they are on Clubhouse and you feel like you have value to add that is unique to the format of Clubhouse, go on Clubhouse. If you have value to share in the form of video and your audience is hanging out on YouTube and hanging out on Instagram, then go in and make videos. I think that it's about like really making sure that you are showing up and giving value in the place that there's a happy medium between what kind of content you can create that you actually really like to create so that you will continue to do it and where your audience is already hanging out.
I think those are great points, Julia, because I think people struggle, right, on just where to begin, And so I love that. And a community just doesn't have to be like a Facebook group. It can be anywhere where people can come together and share ideas and support each other.
Yep.
So which is so true, Julia. I love that. And we've got a great question from Brad Friedman, but we'll get to that after, Deb, we get your answer for, how do people find or learn where to start their community and what different communities have you found?
Well, it's pretty funny because like I don't think you needed to have two guests because Julie and I have very similar answers. But I almost had like this sixth sense that someone else would answer that way. So I have a different kind of answer for you again. And for me, I think you need to go where your people are, obviously, because it's silly to like struggle to build community, right? Like if you're wanting to communicate with moms or sports people or whatever, you need to go where they are. That's obvious. But I also really think you need to go where you like to be.
Yes.
So, I feel like I'm like confessions, right? Of all the secrets of things that people don't know about me or know about me.
Don't hold back, Deb. We want it all. Say it all, Deb.
Like, I am not a big Instagram lover. So like to get me to go to Instagram is like okay, I have to go to Instagram. Like I don't really like vibe there. I totally enjoy looking at the pictures, but a lot of it is I don't love live video. Lots of you know that about me. I'm just trying to change my ways about that, but it's still like I like Zoom. I feel like this is a Zoom call and I feel good with that. But so I think it's easier to build community where you like to be. So for me, example, I absolutely love Facebook groups because they remind me of forums. They remind me of, just being able to help people and be in there and answer. I can look things up, then I can answer. I don't feel like I have to answer on the spot to help the community. But to be truthful, I also am absolutely loving Clubhouse. I love that I love people's bios in there. I love that you can go whenever you want. You don't have to schedule it, or you can schedule it. I've been doing with Jason Goff from Social Media Examiner. He and I have been doing a community builders room every Friday. Today was our 4th Friday of doing it. We've had super interesting people to come into the group, and we made some really cool connections with other people that want to talk about building community. So I think you need to go where you want to go. I mean, I probably have more followers on Clubhouse, and I don't even have that. I think I have like 300 or 400, probably more there than anywhere else. And I actually feel like I have made connections with those people. So my advice is go where you like it.
And that's such great advice too, Deb. And it's amazing with Clubhouse because gosh, yesterday there's so many interesting rooms about like how to overcome shyness and insecurities. Like people get to a deep level. Like I have more than any other kind of live show or room or anything. Like, I don't know if it's because your face isn't on screen or what it is, but people are more vulnerable than ever, like on Clubhouse. And I love it because once one person opens up, like it's a whole flood of like, oh my gosh. And it lasts for hours. Like I wish now that we had 30 hours in a day instead of 24. So I could dedicate it to Clubhouse because like honestly, like Brian can handle like listening to Clubhouse and doing other work. And me, sometimes I have to just truly focus on one thing. And I'm like, darn it, I wish I had a little bit of ADD so I could like really like multitask like that. But Clubhouse is truly like, it's one of my favorite platforms. Like I love Instagram just kind of for all of its functionality, but I do love Facebook groups too. But Clubhouse is, and I know you, Julia, have been on Clubhouse too.
Yeah.
I love it. Like especially for everything in vulnerability and everything you speak to as well. So
absolutely. And I think it is what you said. I think it's the fact that people you're not showing your face. I think that it allows people to feel a little bit more comfortable sharing things that maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable talking about otherwise, which is fantastic because I am here for those conversations. The more that we can open up and talk about the things that have not been being talked about enough, I think the more quality relationships we're going to have, the closer we're going to feel to each other. And that's what we all need, especially right now, given that we're all still kind of distanced. Yeah,
that's so true. And I could not say that any better. And the fact that people are seeing huge follower growth on their other social channels because of Clubhouse. Like it's amazing the amount of Twitter and Instagram followers people are receiving just because people are finding them on Clubhouse.
Yep.
And the different kind of influencer programs or just, contracts they're creating. It's a powerhouse. It's amazing. Now, I do want to get you. So Brad, thank you so much for holding on for us while we answer those questions. But Brad has a great question. So this is Brad's question. How do you handle communities that don't engage even after you've posted all different types of content? And this is also kind of similar to, if you've had a Facebook group that you haven't maybe posted in there in a really long time, it's kind of gone dormant, but you want to revive it. I'm going to bring this to Deb first because Deb, you manage 19 Facebook groups at once, which is kind of ridiculous and awesome at the same time. But wow, Deb.
Yeah. That's a fun stat to say, but we had a great team that did that, and it was for social media marketing world. So everyone was pretty much, there to talk. And so it was a little bit different, but what I would say about that is, I have been known to have a plant in the group so that you put somebody in the group, like a friend or somebody, a colleague or somebody, and they help you drive the conversation. So they answer, like they kind of like, it's like dropping the breadcrumbs, and you have to lead people to realize, hello, you could have amazing conversations in here if you just talk to each other. So like I have been, I sometimes call it a seat filler, been a seat filler in a group where, I'll have a friend that has a group and she's like, okay, nobody's engaging here. I'm like, okay, I'll come in the group. I'll ask a question. I will comment back. I will get the wheels turning so that's happening. So, I mean, I think that's like my secret ninja tip that I have used, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, there isn't. And so I'm going to do a quick point. That's kind of why we have our show sponsor, right? Because we brought on our show sponsor when we came up with that idea when we first started the show in the fall of 2019, because it helps. Before we had Deb too as our community manager, they help welcome people in, drive the conversation in the comments. And it's good. Like if you can't have someone from your team to do it, asking a friend to watch your live and help drive that conversation. Because once people are like, oh, people are asking questions and they're like popping them up on the screen, people are more apt to do so. Because like in school, I remember when I was in high school, even I would be so nervous to raise my hand. I'd be like, start sweating, be like, I have a question, but now I've like broken out of my shell and I'm more bold. But before I was just like, so it's, that's so smart to do. And I think people do that in different ways, and it's just to get people to understand what the group is for and that it's okay to do that. And Julia, what is some of your tips and advice for that same question of if you're trying different types of content and people don't seem to be, responding to it, how do you kind of start, driving that conversation or getting people to realize this is a safe place, like it's okay?
Honestly, I would say like making sure that you're showing up as a human being. So if you are the person that is moderating the group, don't be afraid to make a quick little video, a 20-second video that is literally asking people in the group, what is it that you guys do want to talk about? Don't be afraid to just put yourself out there and really use the people in the group as your little focus group so that you can make sure that you're delivering on what people actually want. Because the thing is like we're all parts of so many groups, and there are so many different channels that a lot of times it's not even that people aren't interested. It's just that they're oversaturated and they didn't even see the notification or they forgot. And since video is one of the things that can kind of cut through the clutter the most, I would say try incorporating video as much as possible and see if that works to kind of help add some life into the group.
I love that. I think that's an absolutely great idea. Such a good tip.
I have one more. Can I add one more? That's a little bit more of a tactic, and that is to ask something that is super easy to answer. Like, do you like this or that? Do you do this or that? Or what do you think of? Not like where they have to write a book in answer of your question, or can you suggest this? And like super easy type questions, which will trigger them to say yes and get just sort of move things along in the group.
Yeah. And I was just gonna, Deb kind of read my mind with that one, because I was gonna say, like, I asked about community managers, like what's one of your favorite community managers in our group? And then I said, I'll go first, and I commented on my post and I said, Deb Mitchell. So that's a great way for people to be like, oh, okay, this is what they want. Like, This is how you do it. And one of my favorite questions is like, what is one thing that you're struggling the most with, or how can we help you? And so people will become more vulnerable vulnerable and share, you know, what they are struggling with and realize it's a safe place. Like, we're here to help you. So I love that, Brad. That was such a good question. Thank you so much.
I have to add one more and then I'll stop. I promise.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And one is asking somebody's opinion is a really great thing because everyone always wants to give their opinion. So, and you can do that in a poll, but Facebook will use the polls in a certain, you know, like they'll show it to you a certain way, but you can also do it with photos. So, you know, showing a photo of this or that and saying, which do you like better? Or what's your opinion of this? Or what would you change about this? Those type of things too. Or that's another good one that helps move things.
Yeah, just ask questions, guys. I think that's, you know, because people realize, oh, you want a response. And Jeremy, I love you, Jeremy. Jeremy says, how often do you spend on the platform a day? He's talking about Clubhouse. Clubhouse, I could spend hours a day just because, Jeremy, I love Clubhouse for the fact that I can join a room, but then I can also do different things on my phone. Even after leaving the app, I can still hear it, right? And so it's almost like listening to a podcast live. And then if I'm like, oh my God, I have a strong opinion on this, I want to join and raise my hand and say something, and you can do it. Jeremy, my counterpart, Brian Fanzo, probably spends 18 hours a day. Like, he's getting up there. I rarely see him anymore. I hardly talk to him. The way I talk to him is through Clubhouse, Jeremy. But I know Deb and Julia, I mean, it's got to be some days it's a few hours, you know, just listening. You can do it while you're doing the dishes, while you're cleaning, like, or doing something else. It's awesome, Jeremy. If you haven't joined, you definitely need to. And I'm catching up on all sorts of different comments here. Let's see. And then Amy, I'm so glad you're in the house. She said, there are places for open-ended questions, but easy to answer questions are better when trying to engage the quiet. Very good point, and very, very true. To get a Clubhouse invite, it's an invite-only app. So I don't have any more invites, but if there's anyone in this room that has any extra invites they want to give out, they definitely can. Last week was my Clubhouse invite shenanigans where I invited everyone and they're all gone, guys. So yes, but with that said, I want to get to the next question. So community management, even like combining with social media, there's a lot to do on a daily basis. So I would want to know what a day in the life of Julia or Deb looks like when managing a community. And so Julia, I'm probably going to ask you first if you want to share what a typical day looks like for you.
Yeah. So honestly, every single day is a little bit different. And I have like kind of a different flow for each day, depending on what's going on. So for instance, on Tuesdays, Jessica does a weekly live video with Mike Gingrich called Magnet Marketers. So Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jessica is always going live. And so I do community management for now. So I am literally kind of watching the live video, answering people's questions if I can, or kind of just making sure at least that I'm answering their comments and kind of just engaging with them and being a part of the conversation, liking, just kind of adding that visibility to everyone's comments, like letting them know that because they're taking time to watch the video, I am here, I'm watching with them, I am part of the conversation with them. And on Wednesdays then, that is a recap. Like I turn the show into a recap blog. And so I am literally spending my Wednesday morning doing content creation and kind of tuning out the rest of the world and writing a blog post. And so every day looks a little bit different, but that's kind of what I love about it. It's just super fun. I get to be a community manager. I get to be a content creator. I get to be an engager. And it's just really fun to get to do all of those different parts, because that is what being a community manager is like, it's not just the engagement, it's the writing, it's really all of it.
And I love how you said like it's a little bit different every single day. Like one of the reasons, and those of you that watch know that I'm a meteorologist by trade. And one of the reasons why I went into meteorology is for the fact that weather is different every single day, right? And I also fell in love, like my two passions are weather and social media, because social media, the power of connecting people. I still have some amazing best friends that I've made through social media that I've either only seen once in person or I've never met before. And I love the power of relationship building. And also social media is constantly changing. Like, I love fast-paced things. And so, like, as everyone knows in social media, it's always changing, always. The algorithms, new features, whatever it is, a new platform, always changing. With that said, Deb, you help manage a whole bunch of different communities. You've got the Twitter chat on Thursdays. You got Agency Love. We would love to know what a look into a typical day for you looks like, or a typical week.
Yeah, well, I think because I work for a company that manages a product and a software product at that, things that Facebook does can affect us, and all different things, and with lots of users. So for me, my days are usually pretty crazy because I don't really know what's going to be happening. However, I have certain tasks that I have to do each day, and I live on the West Coast, and our company is based in France. And so tons of stuff happens like when I'm sleeping. So usually before I even get out of bed, I'm looking at Slack to see, did anything big happen that I have to hurry for? Or did I miss while I was sleeping? And then once I assess that the world is okay, then I do my normal stuff, which is I cycle through our Agency Love group, which is our group that's for our customers that are agencies. It's sort of our VIP high touch group where I get in there. We give them, they get special perks. They get to answer questions. It's sort of I feel like a traffic cop in there lots of times, directing them to different places, just making sure that they're being able to do their jobs the best they can using our product. And then I also, like you said, I am in charge of and host our agency chat, which is a Twitter chat on Thursdays. Well, I am in charge of everything. I find the guests, I book the guests, I write the questions, I communicate with the guest, and I do the graphics for the 7 questions, and then I schedule I write all the tweets, and then I schedule that. And that sounds like that's not that hard, but it actually is quite a process of having to manage all that part of it. So I'm juggling that part of it also, and we're working on taking that, like Julie was saying, is taking that asset and repurposing it. I'm still struggling to find the time to do that when I have everything else going on. And it's funny because I am might help some of you that are dealing with customers. And when I first started, I have tons of experience dealing with clients and dealing with communities, but customer service type issues was quite interesting to me on a technical product. So I ended up having to get trained by the Agora Pulse customer service team on, okay, this is where you go to find these technical questions. This is what you do when you can't find that. Because I literally feel like I'm like this traffic cop that I'm like, okay, go here, go there, do this, do that. So that's how my day goes.
Well, no, but Deb, you do such a good job. And there's always so much to do and a lot to manage. And it can be really overwhelming, I think, for some people. And it's great for, I love calendar blocking. So I make sure I can set aside a dedicated amount of time. And I've really I calendar blocked before, but now I'm like, whoa, I full blown block out my calendar so that I know I have the amount of time I need to get stuff done, And so if people look at my calendar and try to schedule a time, I can always make sure that the priorities that I need to get done, they get done.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you, because I do the same thing with Google Calendar, because I see somebody asking for tips for tools. And so Google Calendar is my best friend. Slack is my best friend. And of course, Agora Pulse is, very useful for us also. But do you find this to be a problem, Jennifer? Is that I set times out, okay, I'm making graphics for agency chat here, I'm writing the tweets here, and I'm I set the time out. But then what I find myself doing is I'll go in the group and something will be happening that I didn't plan for, and I'll be like, really? And my whole morning goes, and then I'm having to move. I'm constantly moving things in my calendar
That's what happens to me. I feel like, because I always check Slack, right? That's what our team, really utilizes, which is an amazing tool. But sometimes I'm also like, okay, I'm going to actually have to not look at Slack for like 2 hours so I can really focus on what I need to get done, just because otherwise I will constantly be doing tasks and other things. So I totally get that. And Trisha, I just have to say big shout out to you, because she was the one that was asking for tips and tools and said, oh my God, Deb is in the house too. So Trisha, we love you. She calls us her Agorapulse family. So you're so amazing. And so, yeah, so those are some of the tools. What about you, Julia? What are some of the tools that you use to stay organized and stay on top of everything? Because social media management, community management, it can be a beast. It just
Totally.
Really.
So, I mean, when it comes to file organization and all that kind of stuff, obviously Google Drive is my go-to, and our team uses that consistently. And it's just so easy to be able to like work on something and it all stays updated real time, because when you're working as a remote team, that's hugely helpful. We obviously love Agorapulse. So we use Agorapulse. I use Agorapulse every single day, as well as HubSpot. I would say Agorapulse and HubSpot are the two tools that I am spending the most time in every single day. So whether I'm doing social media content creation and scheduling content, managing engagement, and doing like social listening, and then HubSpot is where I'm going to kind of do our email marketing and to do our blog. And so those are really kind of our go-to tools. We absolutely love Agorapulse. And we always say, like, it's not just the tool though, it's the technique. And that's really why we love you guys at Agorapulse, is like, obviously the tool is amazing, but it's the community that Agorapulse creates is just so strong. And that's really what it's all about. Like, that's what we're all about at Now. And that's what you guys are all about too. So it's just really cool to get to be part of this conversation with you guys, because we love that you guys obviously have an amazing tool, but it's just more about the people that work at Agorapulse, the people that also love your company, that it's just so cool to be a part of that family.
Oh my gosh, Julia, we love you, and we love Jessica and Now Marketing Group. We're huge fans of yours. And if anyone knows how to build community and do relationship marketing, it's Jessica Phillips and it's you, Julia. So, and building such a great team like Jessica has at Now Marketing Group, like, whoa, she just keeps hiring rock stars. So no wonder you guys continue to flourish. And I'm so excited for Social Media Week Lima this year to hopefully be in person. But thank you for that amazing shout out, Julie, because we love you. And I think the biggest thing, like, for anyone is being able to schedule content, knocking that out so you can really have more time to be more creative and focus on other things. I think that's one of my biggest things. I have to give a quick shout out to Jenny Brennan, though, because it is in the evening for her in Ireland. And she gave a shout out to Deb saying the Agorapulse traffic cop, love it. And you do such an awesome job. So, and Jenny, shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining us, because I know it's a Friday night. So hopefully you're doing great. And seeing if there's any other comments here. Jeremy said their community is so freaking powerful. Us at Wholesome Media love it so much. And we love you, Jeremy. Jeremy, if you guys don't follow Wholesome Media on social media, you need to do it, because they do an absolutely incredible job. And so I'm realizing that we are approaching the top of the hour. Our conversation's going great. And looking at my questions, and I want to make sure we talked about some tools, but I want to ask both of you guys, how has community changed over the past 5 years? And also, what do you see the future of community building as we go into 2021? Are we in 2021? But, for the future, as we head into the next couple of years. So I'm going to throw that to Deb first, and then Julia, I'm going to throw it to you. So Deb.
Okay, so this is a little crazy, because your question caused me to look a few things up to give us some information here.
All right.
So I think I indicated that I was back in the AOL message board forum days. So that's where I really am putting community, right? And probably Girl Scouts before that. So I think that was a good start of community. But Facebook groups started in October of 2010. So think about that, okay? So that was like a big milestone, I think, for a lot of us as community managers, because before the groups came out, the community really wasn't as strong as it is now. I consider Nextdoor a community, although many of us do not manage Nextdoor. It is very strong in certain areas, and that came out in 2011. I also think that live video although I hate it and I'm not a fan of it, that was in the 2015 time period with Facebook Live and Blab coming out. So I think that's in the past. I'd count that in the past 5 years of, was a big change. And then I think the biggest change between then and now, I have to say, is Clubhouse. And I think Clubhouse is rocking a lot of our worlds. And I think that Clubhouse is going to be, as long as they can work out some of the growth issues that we know that they're going to have, I think it's going to be pretty revolutionary for building community.
I absolutely agree. Definitely agree. Now, hopefully all of you paid very close attention to what Deb just said, because she gave the answer away to one of our trivia questions.
Oh, no.
It's okay. One of the trivia questions she just said. So it's great. So just remember, don't repeat anything, Deb, but hopefully you guys were listening to what you said.
Sorry,
No, I love it. I love it. Actually, we want to know how well people are listening. So Julia, same question to you. How has community evolved over like the past 5-10 years, and where do you see it going in the future?
So I think in terms of how it's evolved, I think it has evolved to be, the focus is a lot more now on quality versus quantity. I think that people expect humanity now. And I think that in terms of where it's going, that is only going to continue to be more important. So you have to be real in order to build community. And whether that is on Clubhouse and people are getting really deep because they feel comfortable because there's no video, or you are just kind of speaking really openly on video, whatever content you feel comfortable creating, it has to kind of come from the heart, because again, it has to be, people can hear in your tone of voice, they can see in your face whether you are really about what it is that you're doing. And I think that is where it's moving. So the people that are going to really thrive and continue to build successful communities are going to be the people who really have their heart in it. The people who are just kind of doing it and hacking it along in the process, but don't have their full heart in it, those are going to be people that they're not going to be able to sustain that community as things continue to evolve.
I definitely agree, Julia. I think you bring up a good point, because being absolutely genuine, like I feel like right now at this moment in time, we're all on the same playing field, right? We're all going through this together. No one's just going through this by themselves or in one country. Like, we're doing this together. And I feel like this is a great opportunity if you're thinking about starting a community to do that, because people are more apt to try something new during times of uncertainty than when things are going strong. Like, if their daily routine and everything's going great, why would I change that? Why would I start something new? But now people are really evaluating their lives. Like, I've done a lot of self-reflection just because I've had so much time to do self-reflection, because we haven't been able to travel and really see that many people, And so I think being truly genuine in yourself, you will be surprised and almost empowered to, continue to share, because you realize you being vulnerable and sharing insecurities maybe that someone else is too nervous to share, that's going to help other people, and you're just going to want to spill more and more beans, And so, I love that. And I think community is the future of everything and where we're going. And like you said, I think like niching down, Julia, even when it comes to events, I wonder if these events with thousands of people, I'm sure some of them will come back, but I'm also wondering if it's going to be smaller community events that are going to be more powerful in the future. So that's something that I've thought about as well. But with that said, how does somebody become a community manager, guys? Like, what if someone's watching and they're just like, okay, so, maybe I didn't get a degree in community management, but how do they become a community manager? So Deb, I'm going to throw it to you first, and then I'm going to throw it to you, Julia. So Deb,
I think that you have to get involved in a community to see if you like it first, and to see if you think that you want to be more involved. And in that case, a Facebook group is a great place to start, and very frequently a larger Facebook group. And if you start showing up in that group, the moderator will notice you, the owner, the admin will notice you. And you could be invited, or you could ask if you could help in the group. That's a great way to do it. Many of you may or may not know that Facebook just launched a Facebook Certified Community Management certification, which that I think got kicked off in October. I think that maybe once you pass that test, which the test is a little bit crazy, once you pass the test, they invite you into a special Facebook group. And the number that I remember seeing in there last was there were less than 500 people in there. So the group of those people is kind of small. But I think that that's something that I'm listing on my resume. I'm listing that on my Clubhouse bio, so that getting that certification could be a great way for you to get into that.
And you guys, I'm going to share the certification link for you if you're interested in the comments. So you guys know where to get for more information on that. If you're
so that's I recommend that. And apply for jobs. I mean, there's actually a whole community of community managers out there. Because we think of community managers, some of us think of community managers for like just Facebook groups, but like people that work for like Intel or Apple or various other big tech companies and bigger companies, they have community, they consider that community management, all their help forums and all that kind of stuff. So those opportunities are all out there also.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Julia, any more advice for someone who wants to become a community manager?
Honestly, I would say start showing up in communities. Like, of course, look for job postings, but like really just start becoming part of the communities that you wish to serve. So start showing up consistently and providing value, because that is going to be what gets you noticed. And it's like the way that I got to the job that I am in now, which Jessica and I say consistently is like the role that I'm in it now was literally like made for me. And it is a testament to the relationship that I had with Jessica. So the next job that you have is very like, yeah, you can apply to a job online, but what is very likely going to lead to opportunities that you didn't even know existed is going to be the people that you know. So just start showing up as your real self, put yourself out there, be willing to build relationships for no other reason than wanting to build a relationship. And then in who knows what time, you might end up finding a job, and you might find a job as a community manager in that particular organization. But it's all about the long game. So just start showing up in the communities that you want to serve, be a human being, provide value, and see what happens.
Oh my gosh. And that's such great advice, because just thinking off the top of my head right now, we've got Trisha, Jeremy, Justin Hornback, all of them that are showing up for us every Friday, asking questions, engaging in our community. So if I'm like, I've even like, if we're looking for someone as a community manager or something else, I'd be like, so, hey guys, like you guys do an amazing job managing the comments. Like, would one of you do it? Like, seriously. So, guys, keep doing that, Jeremy, keep doing that, Justin. And I see Jeremy and Justin, not just on our lives, but they're in agency chat. They're all over the place. They're doing the right thing. Same with you, Trisha. Keep doing that. Juan Santiago. And I have to give a special shout out to Trisha. Trisha said, I just came off my IGTV live with my 16-year-old son as my guest. It was a whole hot mess, but some real truth was shared and value as a mom and business owner and family dynamics, particularly during COVID. So shout out to you, Trisha, because that is not easy. So you deserve a huge round of applause. Give her some claps, guys, in the comments, because going live, with kids and just being vulnerable and everything like that can be very difficult. So
Jen, can I add something else? Another kind of tie-in. And I don't want this to be like a Clubhouse. We keep having these like semi conversations about Clubhouse, but I think Clubhouse would be a really great way, because all you have to do is push one button and you are moderating your own freaking room on any topic you want to talk about, and you're making connections with new people. I think what you have to do there is, I think you have to be very conscious of like what you're looking for and what you want to be doing, and not go all over the place, and just, be focused. But I've made some really, like, by being in some Clubhouse rooms with people over and over again, all of a sudden I have this new relationship with people. And it's that new relationship that is leading to, I've gotten invited on some podcasts. I mean, me, who doesn't really call, like, I'm sort of behind the scenes more. And they're like, oh no, we want to talk about community with you. I was like, okay, I can talk about community, So, I mean, I think that it's like, I want to encourage everyone that is interested in that, to like, that's a prime opening at the very beginning of something. take advantage of it.
Yes. No, it really is. Like, people are buckling down on this, like on Clubhouse, like you wouldn't believe. And I just have to give some shout outs to Justin, who's shouting out Jeremy, who's incredible at what he does. But so are you, Justin, shouting that right back out. Jeremy, you both are fantastic. And a special shout out to Trisha did share. Loved what you said too, Julia, because that was so good. But this advice is so amazing, and I can't believe it's already 3:00, basically. So really quick, I want you guys each to share one of your biggest wins as a community manager, and also some of your favorite communities. Now we know Clubhouse, we love Clubhouse, but is there a specific Facebook group or something else where you're just like, wow, I love the people that are in this community, wherever it is. And there's just a lot of great, interesting conversation always in there. And Julia, I'll start with you.
Honestly, I know this is going to sound like I'm like a bug that was planted in, but like Agorapulse, like the agency chats, what you guys put out there, I love the community. I love the people that are involved in what you guys do. So I have to shout you guys out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julia. Well, that means a lot because we all work really hard at that. So Julia, thank you.
And when it comes to a win, actually, for community management, I'm going to throw it back to like a really long time ago for me, because I think this is kind of what planted a seed for me in loving community management. Was years ago, I was a volunteer marketing director for a nonprofit organization called the Sanase Project. And we built a school in Ghana. And I helped to coordinate this program that we did called Sponsor a Student. And we were able to sponsor more. We were able to get more than 20 students, their entire school year, their uniform, all of their school supplies, everything paid for. And that, I think that was like so long ago for me. And that was really what, just seeing the power of our community and just show up because we created this opportunity for them to help sponsor students really showed me the power of, like, if you can build relationships with people, then when you have an opportunity and you put it out there, people will show up.
I love that. Oh my gosh, Julia, that's such an amazing story and really powerful at the same time. Because I know everyone loves helping people in any way they can. So I love that. Deb, throwing that same question to you, one of your biggest wins and one of your favorite communities to be a part of.
Two wins. One, I think, is launching the Agorapulse agency love group for our agencies from zero to where we are today, which I think we've got like over 1,100 agency members in there, which is super sweet and awesome. But also, I think my experience of running those 19 different Facebook groups with an incredible team for Social Media Examiner, for Social Media Marketing World, and just the experience of what I took away from that, and the incredible group of people that volunteered with me, some of them that are here in the chat, Julie, seen a couple other people, just those relationships that we formed over that, and the power that we, for a very short-term event, we grew those groups to great conversations, and we helped kicked off an incredible event. And so I would say that was a huge win for us and a great experience. And you were talking about groups to hang out in. I think one of the most impactful groups that I've ever been involved in is something called Grown and Flown Parents. And it has 175,000 parents that all have kids that are getting ready to go to college or go off to college. Oh. And it is, I've seen, like even just talking about it gives me cold chills because I've seen amazing things happen in there. There have been hurricanes, there have been flooding, there's been fires, and other parents step up to help a kid that is hundreds of miles away from home. Parents with all kinds of, kids with depression problems, the online school problems, and just an amazing group. So if any of you have kids that are getting to be the, high school, college age group, you definitely want to join that group. And I also want to say that I think that what we haven't addressed is any kind of groups that are for these paid programs that are out there. I'm in a couple of those types of groups, and there's some really powerful stuff happening in those groups, and those are completely private. And I love quite a few of those.
Can you give some examples, Deb?
Well, I love Stu McLaren, who runs Tribe, and which is all about memberships. Of course, Amy Porterfield, she's usually does a great group with her courses. Is it Courses That Convert, or no, it's DCA now, Digital Course Academy. And then she also has a membership. She's running a membership now that's all based out of Facebook, called Momentum. That's good. And I like Rachel Miller's group. So recommend all those. But again, those are like a paid opportunity, but still a very important part of, building community.
And that may be another way to monetize, thinking about groups, it building that up. And if you want to, create a side hustle, first you want to do it to help people. Is that your puppy, Deb?
I have a brand new dog who's like almost a year old, and he's been good this whole time, but he's getting more and more riled up. And I just started hearing this strange noise, and I look over, he is eating my desk chair.
Oh no. Oh my God, I love you, Deb. Well, don't worry. So, we are on, and you guys are so amazing. This has been such a great show. But no, there are ways, like, first of all, like, you want to build a community, like, to help people, and that sort of a thing. But then there can be monetizing opportunities that come from that. So just keep those in mind as well. And that was a great point, Deb. Have to give a shout out to Trisha, who got invited on a podcast today. Congratulations. Yay. That's so awesome. We love you, Jen Cole. You're so awesome. I think she had to run, but she said this was great. So huge shout out to you, Julia and Deb. And obviously, Brian, we love you so much too. Everyone loves you, Brian. But really quick, so this is my favorite question. And this is from Tristan, who is over in the UK. But what is the best advice you never took? I love this question so much. Brad, thank you so much too. So Julia, what is the best advice you never took?
So honestly, I kind of have a cheat answer. The best advice I never took that I only took in September of this year was to get a dog.
Oh, I love that.
And so that is the advice that I want to leave the podcast with, because that's what I'm going to be running to tend to, to tend to my puppy. And it has been the best thing ever, having this little puppy to love and snuggle with in the midst of a pandemic. So if you don't have a dog and you've always wanted one, but you've been like, oh, how am I going to make it work? You'll figure it out. Just do it. Just get it. Well, I mean, don't just, think about it, but think about it and then pull the plug and do it.
Oh my God, I love it. Julia. So Julia's in Buffalo. If those of you who missed the beginning, Julia, we need to get your puppy like a Buffalo Bills jersey somehow. Like seriously. Our
neighbor pup has one.
Oh my God, yes. So make that happen. Deb, what is the best advice you never took?
I have to probably say, I have to quote Brian and say, push the damn button.
Yes.
And go live. Because I really don't know why. I mean, I know why, but I really should have done it a long time ago, and I haven't. And now I'm doing it more frequently. And I think Clubhouse is at least allowing me to get my voice out more frequently. Even if I don't want to jump on and do this spontaneous live. So that's what I should have listened to all those years ago.
I feel like we can all say that, pushing the darn button and just being you just show up as yourself. People will love you. The right people, if you show up as your true, unique self, the right people will come to you. If you're fake or not if you're trying to be someone else, you're not going to attract the right people. And it'll become clear that way. So I love that, Deb. That is so powerful. Julie says the Chiefs jersey. Yes, I want to see the photo. I love you, Julie. And we've had so many. Brad Friedman said, great show. Trisha says, love you all. Jeremy says, what knowledgeable women. You all inspire me so much and are so grateful. Thank you for doing this. You guys, but don't worry. We have trivia. It is not over. Really quick, because I know Julia has to Julia's puppy is actually not feeling so well. But okay, so we're going to get to trivia. Now for trivia, you can either win an Agora Pulse mug or a t-shirt, your choice. You have to get both questions correct. And if there's a tiebreaker, we'll do a tiebreaker. And we don't give the answers right away. We allow people that weren't able to watch us live. We wait 24 hours to notify the winner. But we're going to start with our first trivia question. This was Deb. I love Deb so much. If you are really seriously listening, you probably are going to get this right. But and don't Google this, guys. Don't do it. I can see you. I can secretly see all of your keyboards. What year did Facebook launch groups? Was it A, 2006, B, 2010, C, 2012, or D, 2014? And since Deb said the month and the year, so I want the month and the year, guys. We've got one that says 2010. I don't know if that's correct. You may want to rethink that answer. I'm sort of just kidding. Julie said B. You guys are hardcore listeners. I'm loving it. I maybe shouldn't have even said right after Deb talked. You guys are all doing good. Yeah. So I feel like you guys all have this question.
I'm so sorry again.
I no, you're great. No, but it's good. I love the facts. I love shelling out those facts. Okay, this is a Clubhouse question. How many? This is number 2. So, and those of you were answering actually pretty right. When I asked the questions like 1-A, B, and C, and then this is question 2. So make sure to respond 2-A, B, or C. So I know which one you're responding to, or answering. How many registered users are on Clubhouse, guys? How many registered users? Is it 200,000, 600,000, 1 million, or 4 million? And don't Google it, guys.
I could probably give the answer away here too if you want, Jen.
I know. Don't do it. Don't do it, Deb. Julia, we're going to get your input because maybe you don't know the exact answer. I'm not sure about Clubhouse.
I don't know.
That's good. Why don't you, what's your guess maybe?
I'm going to guess.
There's no right well, there is a right answer, but it's a new app that, I was actually sort of like.
I'm going to guess 1 million.
It's a good guess. Julie says 2B. Someone said 4 million. Mm-hmm. We're getting a wide variety of answers. I like it, guys. I like it. It's intriguing. I actually did some research on, how Clubhouse started, and it's pretty amazing what they've created and done in such a short amount of time. So I'm going to stop talking so I don't give away the answer. But again, the last question is how many registered users are on Clubhouse? 200,000, 600, 1 million, or 4 million. Either way, it's not a lot, and it's a great opportunity to figure out an invite, find someone that has an invite for you, and jump on. With that said, I want to give a quick shout out to our show sponsor, Nathalie Gregg. If you're not following her, you definitely need to. And also her Twitter chat, #LeadLoudly, Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can search that right now on Twitter. She is amazing. Nathalie, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your insight. And a big super shout out to Julia and Deb for just sharing your amazing brilliance and everything with everyone and having such a fun conversation about community and community management. Community Manager Appreciation Day is on Monday, guys. So make sure to thank a community manager in your life. Maybe send them some flowers or send them a nice note or do something to just be like, you know what, we appreciate you. And a big shout out to everyone who's watching us and who joined us. I'm Julie Riley, Jeremy, Justin, Trisha, Juan, Brian, Brad Friedman, so many others on here. Tony Christensen, Jen Cole, Julie Riley, everyone. You guys are all so wonderful and amazing. And you guys make this show. And you guys, I love doing what I do because of all of you. So with that said, make it a great rest of your Friday. Make it a great weekend. And don't forget, if you haven't tried out Agorapulse before, give us a try for free. 28 days. We're here to support you with whatever you need. We just want to find ways that we can help make your life easier. If you're an entrepreneur, an agency owner, business owner, anything like that. Also, we have our social media manager school. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, Social Pulse Community is our Facebook group. You just search that and we share the latest social media news and geek out a little bit more than what we do on our regular social channels. But for Julie, Deb, and I, you guys rock. Thank you so much and have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Have an amazing one.